Hello everyone, RT Bear here. Am I live? Am I out there? Yes, hello, this is RT Bear coming to you live from Hack Shack Studios. I am a comic book artist and I have been working in this wacky industry for well over 35 years. I think it'll be 36 this year. So I've seen it all, I've done it all. Hey, Aaron, you guys don't know how much of a relief this is when I see you guys pop up in the chat because, I'm flying blind, baby. I'm flying blind. Yes, hey, Comic Book Bob. As I promised, Comic Book Bob, yesterday, I am going to be inking up this Raven commission. This is just a headshot. I have a bunch of other commissions. I have one doodle that I'll show you as well. I am having some problem with this camera, though. It looks really nice and pretty right now. But you wait. As soon as I start moving around, it'll start focusing and unfocusing. And I'm hoping, hey, James Dean. Hey, Dark Knight Returns. He's returned. We got Aaron, Bob, James, and Bob again. Bobby Bob and the Fresh Bobs. LOL. This is John Wayne. This is me. Gary Shipman's at it again, doing another gaming live stream today. Well, he warned us yesterday, so yeah, at least he's a man of his word. Yeah, so I am going to try to bring this page together, this commission together for you guys. And if the camera becomes unbearable, I do have a backup. I'm going to show you regardless. I have a nice little treat that I'm going to tease right now for you. If you guys are good enough and support this this chat and behave yourselves, I will show you. Well, I'm not going to tell you. It's going to be fun. It'll be fun, but it'll be at the end. So you guys got to hang out for that. So I got my brushes. I got my water. I got my ink. I got my lights. Let me go over and see. I click some of these tabs off and go back to OBS. Yes, there's the camera. So the camera is working. I have a Photoshop image that's way better. So this is actually, it's a tight layout, but this is the layout for the image that's on my drawing board right now. So I just drew this on, paper, just drawing paper, scratch paper. So that should give you a better idea of what it looks like. I took some liberties with the drawing, so she doesn't quite... you couldn't see her eyes in the original 52 design, so I changed that a little bit and made it look more like feathers. I'll bring the detail in with the inks a little bit more, so I just kind of hinted at it at this point with some of these kind of scratchy, craggly lines. They're supposed to be the feather details. So I didn't want too many of them because I didn't want to look too hard or too busy. So I may try to paint those in with wash because I'm going to be working with wash today. So I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to hard line it with a brush. And then I'm going to bring some gray tones into it if this darn camera doesn't bounce all over the place. So that's the plan. So let's see. We have the camera back. I'm going to go back to the chat. See where we're at. Pope Fire. I know I'm a traitor. I know. But it's not my fault. It's not my fault, Pope Fire. I didn't commission this. Somebody asked me to do this. If somebody asked me to do a Starfire, I would be doing a Starfire right now. But nobody asked me. So I do have a Hellfire or a Hellfire. I do have a Hellcat here. I'm all frazzled. She's got me on the defensive. Starfire is goodness. Hell Raven. Uh-oh. We may have some trouble here. Joshua's throwing some shade at Pope Fire. So, this is probably... I'm going to try to wrap this up in about an hour and a half. But if I'm reading chat and things like that, it might take longer. And hopefully this works. So here I go. So here's my brush. I'm on a delay, so it should pop up in the screen pretty soon. Where is it? I can't see it yet. Can you guys see my brush? Sup, man? Don't let her talk down to you like that. Bullfire can chill. Yeah, pencil for life. Yes. I don't see my pencil yet on the, my brush. Oh, there it is. Finally. Jeez Louise, man. This is on a crazy delay. So, I don't know if I should be looking at this through OBS or through the YouTube screen here. Because if it's the YouTube screen, I can read your chats. And if it's on OBS, it's more real time for me. So maybe I just won't look at the screen. I'll just look at the chat. This is weird, you guys. I still have kind of a weird setup here. I don't have the computer screen in front of me, so I have to turn to the side to read it. So it's gonna make a little stilted. So I'll be looking forward at the board to ink, and then I'll be turning to the side to read the chats. So I'm going to try not to be really quiet, because I hate when people are drawing or inking and there's just silence. It's like, come on, man. I want to see some razzle dazzle. All right, so here we go. I'm going to try this. Let's do this. I'm loading my brush up right now, so I don't know if you can see this, but it's actually taking quite a bit of ink. I want a lot of ink. So I usually start with my more structural stuff, like outside structure, and then I work in to the more detailed things. And I'm going to be pretty conservative with the line weights right now, just because I haven't done this in a while. This is a pretty big scale image, and I've been used to working a lot smaller. So, but so far so good. I think that's pretty good line weight. I don't think it's bad. Okay. I don't know if there's any aspiring artists or artists that are listening right now, but it always takes me a while to get warmed up. Sometimes it can take me hours to get warmed up. So I usually ink the outside structures thicker, and then interior structures like noses, eyes, mouths, ears, whatever, thinner, because I believe it helps to prioritize the line, how you see it. So you see the thick lines first, and then you see the thinner lines. So it helps you prioritize what it is you're looking at. So I realized I want her face to be thicker. There's going to be a lot of blacks that go into this. So I think so you don't lose detail like this stuff, you want to bring a thicker line in to accommodate all the darks, the heavy blacks that you're putting in. And I usually ink these commissions a lot looser than I do, like, say, my Marvel DC or black and white. Let me go to the chat, because sometimes when my head's down I mumble. So can you guys hear me? Yeah, it's a Series 7 watercolor brush. These things are pretty bad. Shut your mouth. But I have been using, what are the other ones called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. The Raphaels. The Raphaels are pretty good too. Wait a minute. This, ooh, I lie. This is a Raphael right there. Yeah, this is a number 2 Raphael. So they're pretty comparable. I think that the Raphael is, I hate to say it, I believe they're a little bit more durable, and they keep a pretty good point. So I'm getting a little sloppy here because this is going to be black on black, meaning all this area right here is going to be solid. So hope all is doing well today. If you guys live in California, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous day today. It's in the high 80s, and it's been nice. Just got back from lunch with my wife, and it was delicious, and the weather is amazing. So as soon as I finish this, I will probably go out and enjoy the pool. I can hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear the waterfall. The pool's right underneath the studio. So that cascading sound is the pool's waterfall. It's like a grotto. So I don't mind like some of the lines graying down or kind of dry brushing a little bit, because to me it adds to the charm of these commissions. And like I said, I like taking these commissions because it allows me, well, I didn't say this, but it allows me to draw in a different style. I said something like it, but not exactly that. So it allows me to kind of free up a little bit and to do in a slightly different style than my Marvel DC work, or even black and white, or now Chrono Mechanics. Even though Chrono Mechanics is a pretty it's a pretty loose brush style that I'm using, so it's not as tight either. So I like working in that style because it's a lot of fun. And so just throwing down lines at this point. I'm just kind of structuring stuff in, and like I said, like the thinner lines, those are interiors, so I like to keep those thin. And then you can see like this outside line here that I just put down, it's pretty heavy. So it's a big scale image. This head is it's a pretty, I think this is on 9x12, so it's a pretty big canvas. And it's not really a canvas, but it's a really big size piece of paper. So the image is pretty big. I think I'm going to make this little feather back here a little smaller. I looked at it this morning, looked a little big. So it's one thing, don't be afraid to edit or change while you're inking. I do it all the time. And I do it when I'm inking other people's work too. There's a little trick that I use, and some people like say, "Oh, we don't like inkers that redraw." Well, what I'll do is let me get a piece of paper. Like, let's just say this. Let me get my pencil out here. Let's just say this is your line, right? This is an eyeball. Okay, so the thing is, you can ink the line. Let me draw two of them. I hope you guys can see this. So you can ink it outside of the line, like on this side of the line, or if you ink it on the inside of the line, this side. So if you ink it on the inside of the line, like inside of the structure, then what you're doing is you're changing the structure of the shape. So let's just say like one eye was more open than the other, like there's two eyes, on the face. Everything's fairly symmetrical. And let's just say one eye is a little wider than the other, or something's a little off. If you just kind of go inside the line a little bit or outside of the line a little bit, you can adjust the pencils. And it's not really redrawing, it's just kind of slightly reinterpreting the line. So it's a way that you can get things to line up, or that you can enhance the structure without like major redrawing. So I do stuff like that all the time. Like I adjust and I transform, and I do a lot of different things in the ink process. And sometimes I'll just redraw. but I'm talking about like not major bold things, just little subtle things that you can do to make the structures a little bit more solid, or correct little imperfections as you go along. It's just a trick that I've learned over the years, because I used to get really nervous about that stuff, and I used to take a pencil and think like I had to kind of almost reinterpret the line, and then I just realized that if I just slightly go above the line or underneath the line, I can change it. You can make the eye more open or more closed. Or you can move a structure in, like if you wanted to move this in a little bit, if it looked like it was too far out, because if you ink on the inside of this line, you make it smaller. If you ink on the outside of this line, like right on this line or bigger, then you keep the integrity of this shape. If you start the line beyond this line, then you're changing it to make it bigger. So you can make things bigger and smaller slightly with just little variations of where you put the line and where you don't. So that's just a little inking tip I wasn't planning on, but I've been running an ink studio for probably 25 years, so I'm kind of used to going into teaching mode with this stuff. So let me go back to the chat. I hope this camera isn't bouncing all over for you guys. I'm sure it is. Scott Williams does that a lot to Jim Lee's. I noticed he does it to other people's work occasionally. Yeah. It's just an easy way to edit, or to, I don't want to say correct, but just kind of, I guess, structure things up a little bit better. Yeah, this is New 52 Raven. Comic Book Bob, which, by the way, Comic Book Bob, that's the best name ever. Is that Hawk's wife from Buck? It does. It does. It does look a little like that character from Buck Rogers. Which, by the way, when I was a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. Okay, so here we go. This is the line I've been teasing. So look at that. I'm right on the line. Boom, baby. And one thing I do when things are bigger scale, you can put a heavier line on it. So you guys still cool with the camera? Because I can see it bouncing. I don't know if it's bouncing for you guys. If this gets too much, let me know. Like I said, I kind of got a plan B, but it seems like you guys are digging it, so I'll keep going. So I'm going to do some hatching here. I don't do a lot of hatching on these. I used to, but with the gray, with putting the wash down, it's not that necessary. Is that Amanda? Is that the kid?
Hey, Dad.
You back from taking what they're giving, working for a living?
Oh, yeah. That's Starbucks money still.
So
Looks good.
say hi to everybody in the chat.
Hi, doesn't Dad Strong look pretty? I like it.
I likes it. Hey, you just sold that watercolor that was up in the gallery, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, Amanda's up in a couple galleries. Is it in Laguna?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just sold that watercolor, right?
Yes.
That's awesome.
The exhibit will be open until the end of this month, in case anybody is going to Laguna.
Well, what's the gallery?
It's called the LCAD Gallery 805.
Okay.
And it's right on the beach. It's pretty cool. Some high art will be up there until the end of the month.
Yeah, so if you guys are in California and Laguna Beach, go check it out. How many pieces do you have in there?
Just the one.
The one that sold?
Yeah.
That thing was awesome.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, that one.
So if you guys don't know, I'm a dad. I have a kid. She's a fine artist. She paints. And she just graduated. Her name's Amanda T-Bear. And we're going to be going to Long Island in October for a convention. She's got a little bit of a comic book cred. She did a cover for Lady Death a year or so. It was the San Diego Comic Con exclusive cover. Yeah, so she's pretty good. Uh-oh, I'm being quiet. I'm focusing. See, I told you guys this would happen. I told you. You know why? Because I'm getting into the eyes and stuff. Those are important. Okay, so that's her other eyebrow. Let's get some eyelashes in here. She's pretty. I don't like putting too much emphasis on eyelashes, like detail, like all the little. I just kind of like. I wish I could get away with it more, just a big sweep, and then just a few little detail lines. I don't like when like all the little individual like hairs are inked. I think it looks a little too busy. And actually I think it takes away from the attractive nature. Man, in the 70s, those guys were like inking every hair in the eyelash. And that was where I learned, not cool, baby, not cool. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep her eyes kind of black. I like to do that sometimes, although I usually don't do it on this scale because this is very big. But I'm going to try something here and see if it works. And I just realized I didn't grab all my tools. I might have to get up at some point because I'm going to run it by you guys if I can find it easy enough. But this little line here and around, what I do sometimes is I add color. And I was going to use like a light turquoise here or a pretty saturated blue. But I was going to run it by you in the chat and see what you guys thought. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We're not quite there yet. Okay. So, let me get rid of some of this ink here and get into a little dry brush here. Might have got rid of too much ink. Little too much. Okay, let's see. Still a little too much. Okay. So, I hope you guys are still digging what I'm throwing down. I'll stop moving for a minute so you can see what's going on here. So, hey Scott, like I have a chance. Oh, what's going on? I may buy a new cheap cam. Yeah, it's not the camera. It's like OBS. There's a setting on OBS and I couldn't find it. So it's so weird. Like I don't know why they make these cameras the way they do. It's like a high rated like webcam, but I think they depend on the fact that you just don't move or something, that there's not supposed to be anything that moves, because as soon as you move with these cameras, things get crazy. So it's weird that you have a camera on your phone, and the camera on your phone works better than like this huge camera that's up here. I wish that, well, I'll figure it out. So thanks guys for being patient here, but I'll figure it out to get a better picture for you guys. I'm still kind of just getting back into figuring this stuff out. So computers and all this stuff is not my forte. To be quite honest, I find it nerve-wracking. I don't like it. And sometimes you can ink upside down to get your hand in the right place. So I want to make some pretty bold strokes. Like I said, I have a chance to do stuff with these commissions that I can't do at Marvel or DC. So I like to kind of dry brush it up a little bit. Get some texture in there, some movement. So I think we're almost ready for some wash. Some stuff I don't finish up, like the lips. Although I think I want some detail, just some hatching on the lips and maybe a little bit on the ends where the light doesn't hit, and then I'll do the rest with the wash. And then, like I said early, not a lot of the details on the feathers, just a little bit, because if you overdo it, then it's gonna look kind of ugly and gross. And we want it to be pretty. We want her to be pretty. Oh shoot, you know what I didn't do? I didn't grab my little tray. I'm gonna put this up here so you guys can check it out. And while I'm up, I'm gonna see if I can find that pin I was telling you guys about. So hold on, you guys. I'm going in the other room. Alright, I'm back. I'm back for the attack. So I got, for the second leg of this epic journey, this is what I'm talking about. So this is, I just throw ink in here, and I can do various additions of water to dilute the, I'm dumping all my pins out here. These are the pins I bring to the con, and I can't find a darker blue. So I have this one. This was the kind of teal, I guess, blue that I was talking to you guys about. Let me see. And then, it's kind of dry. So what I was thinking is to bring a color like that in, but this is not even close to any of Raven's colors. So that might have to wait. What is this? Let me see what this one is. Oh, that thing's dead. These are old too, by the way. All right, so let's get into dry brush, or not dry brush, but wash. Okay, so I already have ink on my brush, so I just put it in here, and then I have water over the side, and then I just keep adding water to it. And how I usually do, I don't know if you guys can see this, how I usually do my wash is I'll go really light first, because you don't want, if you go really dark at first, there's really no place you can go. But if you go lighter, then you can kind of build it up. So, and then I have a sheet of paper off to the side, and then I just check it. So it's already, that's pretty dark. So I'm going to add a bunch of water to it off camera here and see if I can lighten this up. It's still pretty dark, but I'm going to try to work with this. So what I do is, like I said, I was going to darken up her eyes, and if this was just straight black and white like the comic, I would just do this in black, but you know, I'll do it with this, and then I can build it up. So I want the dark to be more on the top here. So you're going to hear that quite a bit. Also, it's right by the microphone.
You're like Bob Ross.
I wish I
bang the brush against.
Oh yeah, he does that to clean it off.
Beat the devil out of it.
Beat the devil out of it. Yeah. So I'm beating the devil out. I wish I had Bob Ross's hair. He's got some cool hair. So I'm gonna try to lighten this up a little bit on the bottom. So, like I said, I'm trying to build some of this stuff up. So I'm going to go where I want the darkest pieces to be first. And then I'm going to let the wash kind of dry a little bit. And then, oh my gosh, that's going to be obnoxious, you guys. I'm sorry. Taking a little bit of it off because I don't want it too heavy. And sometimes too, let me see, is you can get the surface wet first, and then you can put your ink down, and so then it doesn't become as heavy, and then you can build it up. Yeah, this is pretty heavy. So meaning it's pretty dark. It's darker than I really want it to be right now, but I'll try to make it work because there are some darker areas I want in it. See, like these shadows here. And then possibly some back here, just to give it a little depth. That piece of tape is giving me a hard time. I only have one hand. I'm holding the palette in the other hand. Okay. So I need something really, really light. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to do this. And I need a lot of it because I'm going to go very light, and this shadow right here, this line, I'm going to darken all of this in, but it has to be very, very light. Otherwise, it's just going to destroy it. Oh, that's still too heavy. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Getting a little nervous. So I don't know if you can see if the camera's picking up the subtleties, but there's a little bit of a shadow cast over her eyes. And since I have this lighter, I actually like to kind of darken up the whole lip. So I hope the subtleties are picking up on the camera. So let me see. I think before I do this, I'm going to go to the chat. Oh man, this is crazy. You guys don't get old. Don't get old because I got to go put my glasses on now so I can read. Art is a traitor. Oh, that's old. Let me see. He had a perm. Well, I could have a perm. Bob Ross had straight hair. Hey, Dynamo. You want to come by and perm my hair? I don't think it's long enough, though. It'd look weird. Okay, so here we go. Let's see how dark this is. Pretty dark. Okay, so it's still pretty wet, so I'm trying to take some of the paint off. I think what I'm going to do, this is getting tedious. I'm going to try to dry some of this so I can work in here. It's too wet. It's too wet. All right, I'm back. Okay, I got the dark. Let's go dark. I want a little bit of heavy in the tear duct. And then what I want is give her the smoky eyes. She's got the smoky eyes. Oh no, I'm being quiet. Okay, let's give her some smoke. Alright, that's starting to look kind of cool. Bang around my brush. I think I want some of this off here. A little too much. And I may come in and build up the eyes a little bit more. But I hope you guys are liking this. Bring some darks in here. So this is where I was thinking I could possibly do some detail, but it's subtle. So it's kind of gray. And let's see what we got here. See, so if you go light, you can always kind of come back in and darken it up a little bit. So there's that. That's a little too heavy. Okay. All right. So I think we're just about done. I may push this back. Okay. I do want her eyes darker though. So let me see what I got. I might have to add some black to this. I'm going to add some new black ink because I want her eyes darker. Let's see if I can do this. Ooh. Oh yeah. They had her in like the like that she had like these like bird type eyes, but I don't know. I think it's all in the eyes, and if you lose that, you lose kind of the attractiveness. So I hope the person that commissioned me to do this doesn't mind. Also, the character design doesn't have, you can't even see her eyes. You can't even see her eyes. Alright, let's do this. Get a little gray in there. Bring this in so it's not straight. Open. Alright, so this is kind of that. I still want her eyes darker. I want them darker. Alright, I'm being quiet, aren't I? You guys are getting bored. I gotta jive this up. Well, I don't have my pen. My color pen. Let me see. I might be able to find it. Alright. You guys take that in for a minute. I'm gonna go see if I can get that dark blue pen that I told you about. Oh my gosh! Let's hope it works. These things are old. These things were stashed in the back. Alright, there's no movement, so you guys should be able to see a good image. Alright, I think this is the color I wanted. Let me see. Always try things out on spare sheets of paper. Yes, it's it. I got it. Okay, I don't want this anymore. Okay, so this is kind of what I was telling you, where I was going to add some color to it. Alright, hey, that's kind of cool. Hey, that's kind of cool. Just adds a little kinetic energy to it. This is just a Sharpie. Yes, Sharpies do have a purpose. I actually like drawing with them. Okay, so that's pretty much that. And then I always like to do these kind of nutty things with my name. And so I guess Where's my lid? I flipped my lid. So let me I usually do this with a marker. So sign my name. Make sure there's no wet ink. That's a crappy marker. I will make do. I'm a professional. I'll make do. Alright, then a little dash. A little thick to thin. Alright. I know I'm obsessing. I'm obsessing. You know what? I want to do something else. There's always something more. Sometimes you can put a little shadow underneath the eye and it adds a little depth to it. So, I mean, there's more I could probably do now that I'm looking, but for this, and I'm going to grab some more black ink and put it in here. Okay. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna figure something out here. And you guys, the cool thing about if you work with the same is you can kind of just you can still ink over this, and I know I was kind of like I'm not going to do a lot of rendering, but I think it could use a little in those areas. Okay, I want a little darker in here. Isn't quite doing. Ooh, look at that! Oh my gosh! And then I'll fan it out so I don't. So it's not a complete black. Sweet! That was it. Actually, that was the little. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not it. I'm gonna get some more black ink. That's right. More black ink. And I'm going to make those a little deeper in contrast. Sometimes once you've done, like, added more black, then you can kind of go over and see how you can kind of punch other things up to match the intensity of what you just did. So basically it all has a coherent. So never be afraid to go back on your piece. Boom, baby. There you go. Raven Commission. So that's pretty much that. So thank you guys for hanging with the shaky cam. And as promised, I'll show you some cool stuff. But let you take that in. I think if I keep it there, you should be able to see it without it shaking around. So Comic Book Bob, I actually made good on the promise. I've been talking about doing this for a while. But yesterday, sadly, my wife, the doctors thought she was having a stroke. So she was hospitalized the morning, so I was going to do this yesterday. So thankfully, everything's good, and she spent a couple hours in emergency, but she's fine now. Not real sure what happened, but she's got high blood pressure, but she's gonna be okay. But that's why I didn't get this yesterday. Yes, and so let's see what else we have. The thing these guys could live work from anywhere. Yeah, you don't need to work from California. So expensive. Is that what we're talking about? If Mike were smart, he'd move to a cheaper, but still nice part of Florida. Double size his house. Hey, you guys, I've thought about this a million times about moving, but the good thing about my finances is this house is pretty much paid for, so I don't have a lot of debt. Actually, the only debt I have is this house, and the debt on this house is like a mid-size car. It's just a couple tens of thousands of dollars. So, but if I was to sell, I could move somewhere and live like a king with California housing prices. So, yeah, no worries, man. Worth the wait. Thanks, Comic Book Bob, and thank you guys for all the support. Here's my next commission. I'm gonna put it here and not move it around and see if the camera does it justice. It's a Hellcat, and so I have a Hellcat. Let me see what I have. I have a Hellcat. I have a white, 11 by 17 white full figure. I have a Judge Anderson, 11 by 17. I have a Voodoo, classic Voodoo old school, 11 by 17. I have a Red Sonja bust, and I have a Rogue Savage Land bust. So that's what I have ahead of me for later today. It'll probably take me a couple days to get out from under these, the way I work these days. But yeah, if there's anybody that supported Black and White, just to give you guys an update, the book is done as far as pencils, inks, and writing. It is now, I think there's 9 pages at the letterer and 5 pages at the colorist. So we are hoping, fingers crossed, that all the artwork for the book will be done by week's end next week. I wanted to get it done early this week, but the colorist I'm working, he lives, oh my gosh, in India. And he said they've been having some terrible storms and their power's been out and a lot of different things. So he was supposed to have everything to me Wednesday earlier in this week. But it did not happen. So, yeah, it's not a perfect world. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I'll tell Pamela that you guys said get well soon and all that. Yeah, she's doing really well now. Just her blood pressure dropped like crazy, and when she first was checked in, they thought she was having a stroke. Scared the crap out of me. So can you guys see this Hellcat drawing? Is it kind of light? And I have these to show you. Let me see. These will bounce around too. These are the patches, one of the patches for the Black and White stretch goals. So we got these in the other day. I'm not sure if they're iron-on. They look like they have some glue or something in the back, so they might be iron-on. So you might be able to iron these on your backpacks or your hats or whatever you guys iron cool patches onto. So yeah, these are the Gunsight Yin Yang patch. So we got those in. We got several thousands of those. And then this bad boy, this thing's crazy. God, I'm so proud of these. We came up with this anti-robotics, MI10 anti-robotics division patch. And it came out so good. So MI10 is an actual division of MI6, the British intelligence, but they used it during the Second World War, if I'm not mistaken. and then it disbanded after that. And they were into weapons development. And so we are kind of rebranding MI10 as an anti-robotics, because Black and White is in the not too distant future. So robots in their reality are pretty commonplace. So there's agencies in the world that police and go after rogue robots, or if we call it the Asimov Accord, even though it's not in the book, but it's in some of my writing, and those are basically the laws of robotics in this world. And so they work within those confines. And so when there's rogue development or robots that have gone bad, the British Secret Service have MI10. And so Reed Blackett, aka Black, worked for the anti-robotics. So did Gray, his right-hand man. So yeah, we got these patches back, and I think these are iron-on as well. So that's pretty cool. And then, man, things are happening, you guys. I'm so excited. This is so cool. We got our buttons. We call them badges, though. So we have we have like 3,000 or something like that of these buttons. So we have boxes of them downstairs along with the patches. So yeah, so these are the buttons that were also in the stretch goals. So these are all freebies, you guys. These are cool. So we got the Greg Capullo cover. We got my cover with Kyle Ritter colors. And then we have the gun sight with the yin yang, which I think came out pretty cool. So that's my show and tell. Let me see if I can do this. I want to go to OBS. OBS. Oh yeah, you guys can see the Hellcat. All right, so I'm going to Photoshop. Oh, here's a better version of the pencils. This is the layouts. I think I showed you guys early on, but if you're just tuning in now, these are the rough pencils, or the layout for the Raven New 52. So let me see. I can blow this up. Can I blow this up? Wait a minute. I know how to do this. Wait a minute. OBS Photoshop. Boom. Okay, hopefully you guys can see this. There we go. Okay. So yeah, these are probably bigger than you want to see. These are the layouts. Dude. Humongo. Yeah, so those are my roughs. They're pretty tight though. Just on a scratch piece of paper. And then this is going to be the fun thing. All right. This is the cover of the Ashcan. This is what I was teasing you guys early on. So this is the cover for the Black and White bonus 16-page bonus story. So we have the 94 Ashcan, but we also have the Ashcan with the 16-page bonus story. And so this is going to be the cover of that. And take it in. And then I got a special treat for you guys. This was kind of a byproduct of working in layers. So this is what I was calling remastering. So that's what it looks like. That's what you guys are going to get. So if you notice the credits, it's my old AT signature. So it says 1994 and then 2019. So this is the 2019 version. And boom, this is the original version. So this is the 1994 version. So this is before remastering. So I thought this would be fun to show you guys kind of where I was at in 1994 and where I'm at in 2019. So there's Reed, aka Black, and here's with the remastering. So the eyes are repositioned, they're restructured, the mouth is restructured. He kind of looks more like the head's in perspective, the right perspective. I'm looking at it now. I probably could have done a little bit more, added to the his right, our left side, to make it look more three-quartered. But I did this pretty quick one night earlier this week. So yeah, so there's kind of black in 94, and then this is how he looks now. So this is kind of remastering. I think this came out so good. I'm so proud of this. So this will be the cover of the ash can. So let me scroll and give you a little Whitney Sung, aka White. So I shortened the arms up. They were a little long. And then I moved the eyes in and reshaped them and reshaped the mouth. And I think I moved the chin up. Yeah, I moved the chin up. And I think I moved the nose up a little bit too. And so then it was weird. The hair was cropped off the cover. Like, why would I do that? So I redrew it and moved it in so it fits the composition. And then just kind of went over and solidified some of the outlines to make the structure look a little bit more solid. It was a little thin, but it worked for the time. So yeah, so this is anybody that ordered and backed the 16-page ash can. It is done. It is all laid out. We got the inside and back. Well, we got the inside front cover, the back inside cover, and then the back cover done. And then all of the 16 pages have been put in, and they all kind of have a cool black border around them just to give you something a little bit more special. So yeah, this is the cover. Before, after, before, after. It's like animation. It's like magic. You know when people say magic doesn't exist? Boom, it does. So yeah, so that's that. I had enough fun at your expense. I'm gonna do it again though. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and so this is, what is this? Okay, that was the Raven. This is that. Oh, and I think I showed you guys this earlier. This isn't the final, but this is the card. I just want to get you excited and to let you know that we are closing in on fulfillment on Black and White. I know it's been a long time, and I appreciate all your patience. So that's why I'm showing this stuff to you, to show progress. Things are moving forward, and we are getting things done. So that's the trading card. Some of this writing has changed. Well, most of the back cover has changed. So then I was thinking, oh my gosh, you know how we had the yin yang with the sights, the patch? Man, if I would have thought about it, I should have done the 25 years. That would have been a cool commemorative patch. But excuse me, this isn't the last you've seen of the 25 years Black and White yin yang's gun sight patch or design. It's going to be all over the book. And so what is this? This thing says stretch goals. Oh, I already showed you this, but this is kind of cool. I thought the picture came out good. This isn't even like a tenth. It's not even 5% of the goodies. Yeah, I just dumped out some stuff and took a picture. So this is it, man. It might be a better image than the funky potato cam. So yeah, there's the patches and the buttons. And oh, I don't know how this got here. These are the old Extreme Trading cards. Yeah, that's before I had gray hair. Yeah, so that's that, you guys. Let me go back and read the chat. I probably lost most of you guys. So yeah, so that's kind of some of the goodies. We are moving forward, light to medium. Light to medium. Are you guys helping me out with the camera? I just have to find the settings. I couldn't even find the settings. Kyung showed me how, or what is it? Kyung Lee? Showed me. I always over pronunciate the U, I think. Showed me how to do it, but I just couldn't find where it was. on OBS. So yeah, that's what I heard about hunting work, older comics, physical copy. Really like your work, art. Is there any way to get black and white in the future? You mean the first issue? If Unchained Spirit, if I understand you. Oh wait. So he said the PDF might be available on his site at some point. No, I'm not. I'm not going to put the PDF up. I may do another, like a separate PDF fundraiser, but that's going to be down the line. I have been playing with the idea. I've been talking with my wife, because she helps me put these things together, that we may do like reissue number 1 or volume 1 of Black and White, but do it with another cover. So it won't, like, the only place you could get the original cover is the campaign that we closed out. So you won't have access to that cover again. So that will be the big collector's item. But as like, what do they call those? Like Marvel used to do them when they go to second printing. When you go to second printing, they put a different cover on them. And so the first printing is always the more collectible, and the second printing is sometimes they become collectible too, because they'll have a special cover. Like in the day in the 90s, X-Men would do for second printing, they'd do like a gold version or an embossed gold version of the cover. So that's what I'm thinking that I might do for Black and White Volume 1 as a reprint version or a second printing. I'll do them as kind of like gold covers or something different, or just a different cover, like a brand new cover. So then it becomes a collectible unto itself, and it doesn't. So everybody that backed the first campaign will get a one-of-a-kind black and white experience. So that's kind of the idea. Left-click camera. I did do that. Left-click the camera in OBS. Select configure. The settings are there. All right, Bob, I'll try to do that again. So I want to do a lot more drawing for you guys, so I'll look into that after I'm done here and see if I can get a better picture for you guys. But thanks for your patience. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll be giving more black and white stuff for you guys down the line. And also, my next project is called Chrono Mechanics, and we have a tentative title called Retrofit. So I think we have 3 pages of colors. The colorist on this project is going to be none other than Narwhal. And the 2 pages I've seen so far, pretty darn cool. I almost said the D word. The not so good D word. And although I do cuss, you guys, I just try to keep it on the down low. Here, so yeah, so he's working on that now, and I'm working with Render Contender on part of the story. So he'll be doing breakdowns, kind of like a breakdown, maybe from my layout. We're still not sure how we're going to work that out, and then I'll be inking or doing finishes to bring it all together. So that book is about 2/3 of the way done. So it shouldn't take me as long as Black and White unless I get crazy ambitious like I did this time out. It's not really a remastered version. It's kind of a unique version unto itself, but it is based on 2/3 of one of the issues that I had done in the past. So it is going to be, it's going to be completely different, but not in the same way that Black and White is, and also not in the same way in the sense that a lot more of it is done. So I'm hoping to get that out in a couple months. But in the meantime, I have a pre-launch page for Chrono Mechanics. So I believe it's in the description, and I'm hoping that the link works. So click the link, go sign up, and you'll be eligible for all kinds of cool exclusives that we have planned. And since Black and White is done, I'm going to be working on my commissions and bringing the Chrono Mechanics campaign, Indiegogo campaign, together for you guys. So look forward to that. I'll be giving you guys more information as we go along on Chrono Mechanics, and I'll let you know how Black and White is coming along. So just to recap, Black and White, the writing, penciling, and inking is done. We're just waiting to get some pages back from the colorist and letterer, and we're hoping to have that done, completely done, by the end of next week. So that's the plan. Hopefully, you guys keep your fingers crossed that can all happen. And more Chrono Mechanics news down the line. So thanks, guys, and have a great Saturday, and I will talk to you later.